Alright guys, so in this video what I'm going to do is a quick demonstration on how to use the Facebook PHP SDK with your website. So allowing individuals to log in using their Facebook credentials, getting their access token, and then grabbing all the attributes associated to that. The SDK, I've had a quick look at it. It looks pretty good in regards to doing a lot of the heavy loading. You don't really need to know too much about OAuth, but one thing that Facebook haven't done is really to then how use that SDK within your website as well. So even though it's quite simplistic, one thing that I've tried to do in this video is try to simplify it. So a couple of things I've set up already. One is my NetBeans IDE. It's just a vanilla installation. And then the second one is my, if I just do a quick connect. The second one I have is FileZilla, which is it's a client that allows me to use my FTP uploading. You should hopefully already know how to use this. If not, you just need to set it up. One thing that's quite important about OAuth is that it acknowledges the domain in which you're trying to access that token, trying to provision that token rather. So the domain name that I haven't really used is javaexampreparation.com. I bought it. It's under my name. I can access it, but there's nothing on there. So I'm going to use that to test my logging with the SDK. So first things I need to do, right-click to create a new project. Actually, before I do that, within FileZilla, I have here, let's just quickly open it up. I have here a test PHP file. So all it does is say hello world. One thing I'm just going to do, drag and drop, and upload it onto my remote host. So if I go to that link, I can see I can just get the hello world, which is great. You know it's working. One thing you can do here with the NetBeans is allow the integration with your IDE and your remote server. So creating a new PHP application onto your remote server. For me, I use 5.6, mainly for the different annotations. I don't think it's too important for this login, but for me, I use 5.6 moving forward. Give it an application name. Click next, and then can I speed this process up? I can. I'll keep typing it out again. Get rid of that. And make sure the upload file is... so one thing you have to note is that the upload file directory that you're setting up in NetBeans is corresponding to your remote site directory as well. What I've done also is set up my FTP for my remote connections. I don't want to go through that because it'll show obviously all my server names and credentials and all that sort of stuff. So you'll be able to set that all up. Once you have, and it all works fine, one thing it will acknowledge is that do you then want to then synchronize with the existing directories? So for me, again, PHP, at the test.php file, I'll download to my local directory. So if I open it up and then I type in a lot of jargon, hopefully the changes then will synchronize back up to the remote server. So once I've done that, give that a go again, and it'll upload, all working great. So you know that the IDE with FileZilla and the domain names all working good. Next thing you need to do is download the Facebook PHP SDK. So Facebook Developer SDK PHP. So one thing you do need to note is that there are different types of SDKs. Obviously I'm using the PHP one, but just be mindful because there are types of SDKs that are available as well. One thing you need to do is download the existing SDK by going to their GitHub and downloading the directory. So once that's all done, I'll open that up and I'll double click there. So you'll notice this source file is part of the downloads. So that's the one that we actually need. So if I go back into NetBeans, right-click on Source Files, and then Show in Finder, what I can do is a simple drag and drop. So because I've put it onto my local directory, into my project, it's then acknowledged that it needs to be uploaded. So if I go back into NetBeans, into FileZilla, do a quick refresh, you'll see it's actually being uploaded as well. So far so good. Next thing is to test the SDK, which if I go into my notepad, I have here a PHP file, which I'll send a link out from my other website. But if you create a new PHP file, PHP. So follow the link, copy and paste, and then give it a quick save. Just a quick run through. All this stuff you don't actually need. It's just part of the encoding errors. If there are anything from a PHP standpoint, it will then show it within the page. But here's the initial instantiation of that Facebook object. You will, however, notice you need an ID and secret. So if I go into, just to test that out, to know that it's at least working from an SDK perspective, once you upload that PHP file and then go to that website, you'll see a link. So once I click that, you'll see it then redirects back to Facebook. So all it's doing here is picking up the version number that it's trying to use as part of trying to gain that access token, that OAuth authentication rather. So you can see here invalid ID, which is it's trying to pick up the ID that I'm trying to send. So you kind of know that the SDK is at least working in regards to sending that request to try and gain authentication. So next thing you need to do is set up an application from a Facebook developer's perspective. So go into Facebook developer. And then, assuming you've already logged in, click onto My Apps, and then create a new app. You want a website application, and let's call it test login. Create a new ID. Obviously, I have to put in a quasi email here. Obviously, you need to put in one if you are actually going to use it within your production environment. For me, to select the cats, I think that's all of them. So once you've all done that, avoid all this sort of stuff. Click onto My Applications again, and you'll see this application is part of a collection with your other applications. So next thing you need to do is go into settings. A couple of things you need to put here. So you need to put in the domain name, javaexam preparation.com. That looks okay. Yeah. And then you also need to add in the platform as well. So save that change. All looks good. Go into app review and make sure it's actually live to the public. All right, so it's actually live apparently. And then you'll know it's working because you'll have a solid green circle here. A couple of things you need to do, obviously with the app ID, copy that over, paste it into there. And then the other secret is actually here Obviously, by the time this video is uploaded, this application won't exist, so this application secret won't exist, so don't bother trying to compromise the application. But for here, do a copy and then paste it into the secret. So far, so good. So once that's all been done, again, you can give that a quick test. Where is it? This one here, right? So now if I click it, it should be able to acknowledge the fact that I'm trying to access the application. It's allowing me to gain my profile name and email address as well, which is in your PHP file. So if you click OK, you at least know that it's working from a Facebook SDK perspective in regards to the callback. Next thing you need to do is add in this this file as part of your project as well. So again, right-click, new PHP file, and give it Facebook callback. Essentially, what this is just the same as what you have in URL in your login PHP. But here, again, I'll upload the example. I'll just do a quick copy and paste. Again, a couple of things to note. Again, it just uploads your autoload PHP, which instantiates all your SDK elements. And again, you need to add in the application ID, which I will copy here. And then grab the secret. And I think it's somewhere else as well. It's here. So I need to validate the application ID. All right. Give that a quick save. So hopefully that's now working. So we'll try and log in again. Once I logged in, so it's successful. It's able to find out that my name, along with the ID number, the access token, which is again will only be valid for a certain amount of time, but then obviously it provides all your metadata as well. So you do know that once you try and access Facebook, try and log in, you can obviously see that it's come back with the access token. I'm able to then pull those attributes out I need. So pretty simple. It's probably a 10-minute video, but hopefully this works for you. Obviously, I'd like to hear your feedback. I'll try and set up how to then use this with your MySQL database and audits and all that sort of stuff. So I hope this works, and thanks for watching.